This is a showcase of a Volt Sandcat build. The important mods and arcanes are Preparation, Archon Stretch, Shocking Speed, Capacitance, and Desiccation's Curse, and ideally you have Summoner's Wrath as your aura. Arcane Kamisado will help your cats hits harder and faster, while giving you a free 60% strength increase. Mold Augmented is also useful for raising strength, since the build doesn't focus on it. Desiccation will need to be subsumed from Inaros. To get Inaros, you either have to buy it from Barrow, he has it on every trip, or you can get him from a circuit. I only have 2 shards, both of which are set to strength. They are not needed. I use the Zenuric school, but feel free to use any. Madurai has strength, so I suppose you can use that. The only time Zenuric is needed is when you don't use Equilibrium. The last needed step is a melee that can do high finisher damage. I use a Titron since attack speed doesn't matter with Volts 2 on. Keep in mind Parazon finishers don't spawn the cats. When you load into a mission, I did Sanctuary, as an example, cast Desiccation, then perform a finisher on any of the enemies hit. After you do this, you'll get the Sand Kavat counter on the top right. At this point, you just run around and let the cats do their thing. All you need to ensure is that you use Volts 2 often enough for the cats to be constantly boosted. One thing to look out for is your Kamisado boost. Ideally, your cast will be done when the full 60% is applied, but not doing it perfectly has no real consequences. Now I'll see you at round 8, which is exactly 1 rotation for Sanctuary. Now for some notes. There really isn't any way this can go wrong, but if you notice your kills are slow, then you've lost some Kavats and now need to do some Desiccation finishers, which with a strong melee won't be hard until you hit around level 200 plus Steel Path enemies. Another thing is that Kavat kills don't give affinity, so this would be terrible if you needed to level frames or weapons. As for survivability, adaptation applies to shields, so you will be kind of tanky. Your only real defense is shields. Casting Volts 4 will replenish them, and does this even when Shield Gate is triggered. One last thing to know is that if you die, there will be permanent Kavats. They will not be able to produce fresh ones, but in theory, if you die 1 time, you can get 10 total Kavats with only 5 being able to time out and reproduce. From what I know, this can be continuously done until you run out of revives. I wouldn't advise doing this purposefully, as I prefer to have a revive as a just-in-case over a higher DPS. The choice is yours, though. No finisher, but Kavats are still running around. It does help when trying to build up your momentum after an unforeseen death. And just like that, we have a strong Sandcat army. This setup is only really good when enemy density is high. Think of Steel Path Survival, Exterminate, potentially Capture, and the Archon Hunt missions. I use this almost everywhere, and if you change Desiccation to something like Roar or Nourish, you get a more general build that feels comfortable for normal star chart. I have heard of issues when you are not host, so playing it solo is the best move. It can easily handle most content up to, let's say, level 200 Steel Path.